Have you ever sat down at the wheel and felt like the clay was fighting you? It refuses to center, it wobbles with every spin, the walls won't rise evenly, and just when you think you have gained control, the entire piece twists, leans, or collapses. It's easy to look at a lump of clay and think, why won't you cooperate? But here's the interesting part. Most of the time, the clay isn't fighting you at all. It's simply responding to what you are doing. Clay doesn't have an opinion. It isn't stubborn and it isn't trying to make your life difficult. It reacts honestly to pressure, movement, moisture, and timing. If your hands are uneven, the clay becomes uneven. If your pressure changes unexpectedly, the clay responds immediately. What feels like resistance is often just feedback. For beginners, this can be one of the hardest lessons to accept. It's natural to blame the clay when things go wrong. Maybe it's too soft, maybe it's too dry, maybe it's poor quality. And while the condition of the clay certainly matters, more often than not, the real challenge isn't the material, it is the technique. Take centering, for example. Many people believe the answer is to use more strength. They push harder, grip tighter, and become frustrated when the clay continues to wobble. Ironically, the extra force usually makes things even worse. The clay doesn't need stronger hands, it needs steadier ones. It responds best to consistent pressure, good posture, and calm movements rather than force. The same principle applies when pulling the walls. If one hand moves faster than the other, the wall becomes uneven. If you rush the pull, the clay can't support itself. Too much water weakens the walls, while too little causes your hands to drag across the surface. While every action has a reaction, and the clay simply reflects whatever you are giving it. Experienced potters understand this well. Instead of asking, why is this clay fighting me? They ask a different question. What is the clay trying to tell me? That small change in perspective transforms the entire experience. A wobble becomes a lesson about centering. A collapsed wall becomes a reminder to slow down. A twisted ring becomes feedback about uneven pressure. Over time, something remarkable happens. The battles become conversations. You stop trying to overpower the clay and begin listening to it. Your hands become more relaxed, your movements more deliberate, and your confidence grows. The clay hasn't changed, but your relationship with it has. Perhaps that's one of the greatest lessons pottery has to offer. The goal was never to conquer the clay, it was to understand it, to learn its rhythm, respect its limits, and work with its nature instead of against it. And maybe that lesson reaches beyond the pottery studio. Sometimes the obstacles we face aren't resisting us as much as they are responding to the way we are approaching them. Sometimes slowing down, paying closer attention, and changing your technique achieves far more than simply pushing harder. In the end, your clay isn't fighting you, it is communicating with you. Every wobble, every collapse, and every imperfect pot is simply the clay saying, try again, but this time a little differently. And when you finally learn to listen, that's when the real joy of pottery begins.